the three men, Knight in the 4 spot, and then they've got the big fella McKay who will swat shots and rebound all night.
Bryce Cotton has had a 20.
Certainly do. I mean, both these teams are under pressure right now to start to get a winning streak going, because it's not just about making the finals, it's about taking some momentum in there, some form to give them confidence.
We've said it before, we'll say it again, a great atmosphere in Sydney. Both of these teams chasing back-to-back wins. Perth had lost 6 of 7. Including 5 on the road before downing Illawarra in the gong last start. 95-87, it was New Year's Eve. Prather a little short with his opener. A sighter for Perth's leading scorer. And of course, Sydney snapped that losing streak, 4 on their home court, by beating the Breakers 85-80. It was tough work, but they got it done. And there's the first foul. Called against Damien Martin. He's been out since November 5. After the game against Adelaide with a knee injury, not due back for a couple of weeks, but those rumours he was set for an early return proving true. Marich running off a bounce pass from Kevin Lish. So both sides come up empty after their first scoring attempts.
And they're the little things from Damien Martin. He was the one who put Marich off then by helping from the weak side.
That's why he's the 5-time defensive player of the league. Jameel McKay puts it on the floor, off the glass. First points go to Perth. McKay.
He's such a good athlete and really has an athletic advantage over Marich. So anytime he gets the opportunity to put it on the floor and drive at Marich, good things will happen.
Scored only 5 and 6 against Sydney this season. He's due, as is this man, Kevin Lish, fresh from his worst shooting night of his career. There's Cotton, the assist for McKay, who can't finish.
Oh, great pass, though, with his left hand from Cotton.
Newley has his pass knocked away by McKay. Yeah, Kevin Lish missing his shot against New Zealand, 1 of 14. Kept to 9 points, his first game this season in single figures. And he's been such a busy man, Shane. You just wonder whether it's starting to take a toll as Newley tries to open the scoring. Your thoughts on Lish?
Yeah, I just think he's mentally and physically worn down after going and playing for Australia. He also spent some time playing in Puerto Rico as well. And I was worse than 1 for 14 at one stage after doing that same sort of thing. I was 1 for 16 against the Titans.
Surely not. The Hammer 1 of 16. Say it ain't so, but it's in the record books as McKay finishes with authority. This time, Cotton acknowledges the assist.
Just a great passer with his left hand, and see, he plays with a whole lot of poise. That stop-start game in transition. On the money that time. Yeah, but it is true. I've got to say, 1 for 16, and I tell you, that one, I remember, was on this court, and it was a breakaway layup, and I was scared that I was going to miss that as well. It certainly wasn't my game. I heard Andrew Gaze say it's never happened to him, but unfortunately, I can relate to Kevin Lish, and it's a worrying thing that he may be a little bit fatigued right now. He has to find a way to freshen himself up.
So McKay races to 5 points. Dominating the game, early stages. Lish playing against his former club. Shoots over the top of Matty Knight successfully. 1 of 14. Who remembers that, he says.
Shooter's mentality. And especially when it's a 3 like that, he's the sort of player we know he can reel them off in succession.
I mentioned Kevin Lish, 130 games, 4 years at Perth, 2010 through 13. And he made the Cats' 30th anniversary All-Stars team. What a team. Lish, Grace, Fisher, Crawford, Vlahoff. He's lining up against his former club. And his early indications are that he wants to have quite the say on the outcome of this match.
Well, speaking of the Perth Wildcats, they could name another 3 teams of 5 that would be outstanding as well. The history and the success they've had over a long period of time.
Martin Here's the new boy, Bryce Cotton. Back to Martin. There are the two new faces in the starting five. And it's as easy as that for Bryce Cotton, the 24-year-old. Not drafted, but he played 15 games with the Jazz, 3 at Phoenix, 5 at Memphis in 15-16.
There is nothing better when you come in as a replacement player, as I have a few times as an import, and you make your first shot. Nothing better than seeing it go through the net and get that confidence up. He's got a couple of assists already as well. Really good start for him.
Prather went hard at the rim and watches it roll through. Prather has led Perth scoring 11 times this season, but not in his last 2 outings. He's their leading scorer at 21 points per game. Newley is just shadowing Lish as Sydney's leading scorer. Newley outside for Whittington, left open, but he put a foot out of play. Spotted by Matt Townsend.
Again, the Kings trying to get through their shuffle offense. A lot of passing, a lot of wasted time. You see Cotton knock down this 3. That's part of his scouting report. Loves to be able to hit the 3, but also balances it up by getting to the basket as well.
Matty Knight for Martin, who was wayward from that position a moment ago, more so just there. Lish running at his former teammates. Kevin Lish 0-6 against Perth with Damien Martin in the team. They spent so many games side by side with such success. But since they split up, Marno was dominated and Kadee. It was hard work. He ended up on the deck, but the ball ended up exactly where he wanted.
Great take from Jason Kadee. I love when he starts games and puts the ball on the floor, gets himself to the basket, makes that, he'll go to the free throw line, as opposed to starting with a couple of 3-point shots. And sort of balance where if he starts making shots, getting that confidence up early, then he'll be good to go. And early stages, we see Will McDowell-White come into the lineup, Matty.
The 18-year-olds, the 4th youngest player this season behind Angus Glover, Terence Ferguson, Matt Kenyon. We'll have more to say on William McDowell-White.
Well, I spoke to Will during the week, actually, and asked him how his time was going, and said it's not that easy picking up the shuffle offenses of Andrew Gaze. He seemed a little confused at stages, but I'm sure he'll settle in. A huge talent.
Knights gets away from the defense, and the layup eventually goes through. Yeah, McDowell-White played with Australia at the Under-19 World Championships 2015 in Greece. It was won by the US, and that US team included Adelaide's Terence Ferguson. Kadee off target. McDowell-White, famous bloodlines. Dad Darryl. AFL fans will know him well. 268 games. A 3-time premiership player with the Brisbane Lions. 01-2-3. A member of the Indigenous celebrated team, and it was Dad's advice that said follow basketball, not AFL. Well, here's another little milestone in the career of William McDowell-White, his NBL debut at 18 years of age, 8 months, 25 days. Matty Knight outside for Bryce Cotton. He made his first, better make it 2. He races to 6 points, 100% shooting, both from range, thank you very much.
And that is wet. He had his feet set, nothing but cord. He certainly knows what to do with it when his feet are behind that 3-point line.
15-6 to the Wildcats. Powell with the offensive rebound before McKay brushes it away.
Well, the Kings look lethargic. They look lost on offense. Really not aggressive at crucial stages. And if they don't find a way to be able to score that basketball and play with more urgency, they will get spanked tonight.
The Wildcats so far have struggled on the road. Just 2 wins, 6 losses. McKay gets open. Bullet-like pass from tonight. He's already gone past his first 2 returns against Sydney. 5 points and 6 points he had in round 7. Up to 7 in the first quarter. McDowell-White, the long pass for Newley. How are the nerves of the 18-year-old right now? Nearly 8,000 in the Kudos Bank Arena. His NBL career just beginning. It's the NBA veteran Powell taking aim. Heavy with the shot, and Cotton grabs the loose ball. Straight for Prather. Cotton inside to Matty Knight, who goes hard at Newley, and the Kings get a result. Newley draws the foul. He'll shoot the two. It was Brad Newley with a Kings season high 34 in that first game against Perth, where that 34 wasn't enough. Perth beat the Kings. There's the turnover from Matty Knight.
The Kings need to play a little bit more like this. They need to play up tempo. Brad Newley's one of the best in the competition. When they get stops, they kick it out to him. His decision making is exceptional. Talk a little bit more about that shortly, but his ability to be able to score, bring other people into the game. But if they're just running their shuffle and throwing a whole lot of passes in the half court, they're really not utilising the strengths that they've got around the court.
Trevor Gleeson calls Matty Knight and Jameel McKay in for a breather. Jared Kenny and Angus Brandt hit the court. Second one is short from Newley, but it eventually finds the way through. 17-9, Brandt. And one to come for Angus, the former Sydney King. An immediate result after he's injected by the coach. 49 games for Sydney across 3 seasons for Brandt.
It's a big, strong move from Angus Brandt too. Just a couple of power dribbles against big Josh Powell. Good touch with his left hand, and that's the balance they've got now, being able to go inside out, hit threes, play off the dribble.
Big Josh Powell, it's big Angus Brandt too. He's the tallest Wildcat, 208 centimetres. Newley finds Garrett Jackson. Garrett Jackson has a jump out. So the Wildcats by 10. Cotton again, it's too easy. Three triples.
It's Cotton, all right. Right, hanging off the bottom of the ring, nothing but cord. This man can seriously hoop.
Right now, Perth fans are saying, God bless Cotton socks. Newley.
And this is the thing about the Sydney Kings, and we spoke about it a couple of weeks ago when they brought in Jackson into the lineup with their third import spot. I felt strongly about them really needing a guard. I feel like they're too top heavy as well, really running Lish and Kadee into the ground and not having that third man in the rotation. Sure, they've brought McDowell White into the lineup, but you know, not the experience that you really need to be able to get solid minutes at the moment.
Newley works the screen provided by Powell. The finger roll didn't go. The putback by Powell didn't find a mark. Look at the big American fighting to keep possession. Newley kicks it out for McDowell White for his first NBL points. There's a moment.
Great drive and dish from Brad Newley, and that will give the young fella a whole lot of confidence to see it go through early.
Rick Hire follows up the missed shot to complete another success for Perth. Lish, the floater, hard off the back of the rim, and Hire scoring at one end, rebounding at the other. Cotton sitting on 9 points for the game from 3 bombs. Is it about to be 4? He's fouled in the act of shooting 3. And it was the youngster, the 18-year-old, with adrenaline pumping through his body, William McDowell White, the offender.
Good little set from the Perth Wildcats. A little pick the picker. Really caught McDowell wide off guard. Cotton came off this pin down. You'll see at the top of the screen now. Pick the picker. Now he's open. Got caught. And that's a rookie mistake. You just can't foul a three-point shooter, particularly somebody that shot the ball at 90% from the free throw line in his D-League days. This man has put up a serious amount of points in every league he's played in, from college to the D-League, and the limited opportunities he had in the NBL.
He played with Dante Exum and Joe Ingles at the Utah Jazz, and Joe Ingles on Twitter said Perth got themselves a great player and person in Bryce Cotton. He will dunk on someone that doesn't expect it. Well, he doesn't need the dunk right now. It's raining bombs.
He looks like the sort of guy that's just got a whole lot of poise. He played himself into this game with a couple of assists. He wasn't in a hurry. He's made his shots. He got himself to the free throw line. He is the perfect fit for this Wildcats unit.
I'm waiting to see how a 185 centimetre, 75 kg American dunks, but we'll have to wait and celebrate a Kings bucket. Much needed for Sydney. They're down by 12. I thought about it. And Perth come up with a miss. Dexter Kernich-Drew playing his 17th game of the season. Regular for the Wildcats. Jason Kadee. Catching the same disease Bryce Cotton has. But we shouldn't be surprised. Kadee in a hot little patch. He's averaging 22 points across his last 3 games and his best 3-game average since the start of last season. Do they go back to Kadee? Not enough time. That's the end of the first quarter, and Perth have worked their way in front by 9. 27-18, the Wildcats tracking back-to-back victories. Player to debut this year, but he is owner now the most points in his first quarter of his first game this season. He has 12. Marvell Harris has 9. Better, no Wildcat. He's the 200th Wildcat tonight, Bryce Cotton. No other Wildcat has gone to double figures in his first quarter.
It's a great effort. But good signs at the end of that first quarter for the Sydney Kings, hitting threes from Jason Kadee and also Kevin Lish. Spoke about the fact they looked really lost in that first 6 or 7 minutes. Now a chance to be able to regather themselves and play with a little bit more purpose, and I think the more up-tempo they get, the better results they'll get.
Angus Brandt guarded by Powell. Brandt spins with a hook shot that finds its mark perfectly.
The second left-hand hook that he has made on Josh Powell at the early stages of this game. Great touch from the big fella.
The Kings trailing by double digits, but not for long. Greg Whittington drops 3, then appeals for more. Matt Townsend was having none of it. Brandt threw higher. 3 seconds in the key called on Angus Brandt.
I've just noticed a different demeanour over the last month with a lot of the Sydney Kings players. Whittington hit that 3. He was turning around and bitching at the referees. When they were 9-2 or whatever they were, there was a lot of smiles. They were all happy, and you can just feel that pressure starting to weigh on the Kings players a little bit, and that happens in a place like Sydney.
He's got the best smile in the league, Greg Whittington. I thought we'd see it right there. I was waiting for the flash, those big pearly whites, but it was a mean glare towards the officials. Brandt again tries that left hook over Powell. This time he fails. And now High draws the foul. Just back to my earlier point, Bryce Cotton, the 200th Wildcat. The Perth club, the first NBL franchise to use 200 players. Behind them, it's the Illawarra Hawks, of course, a foundation club. And while we're talking foundation clubs and records, Heritage Round coming your way next week, round 15, where the Kings don't have a home game. As a result, they're celebrating their heritage with the 1992 singlet.
I like that uniform too. It's a good look, that retro number. I'd have to get myself one of them.
Well, it is part of the NBL merchandise.
Tech foul. I think it's on Jason Kadee, demonstrating on that call. That's what I'm saying. You have a look at the body language of the Sydney Kings. They're so jovial when everything was going well, and it looks like they're carrying the weight on their shoulders. And it does happen in Sydney, and you know, there's a whole lot more attention. You're in a fishbowl up here, and a whole lot of expectation with the money that's been spent, how well they went at the start of this year. They just have to be able to find a way to be able to wipe that out, get back to the process, have some fun, freshen up. I think good things will happen.
We saw a flurry of tech fouls last night in Cairns, one early here. A lot of them for back chat. I wonder whether the referees are clamping down on the language and the type of talk that's being directed their way. Wagstaff, they rotate the ball nicely. All that was missing was the finish. Dexter Koenigs-Drew a little off.
I was about to say Bryce Cotton needs to get back into this game, and at that time Trevor Gleeson walked up and said, come on young fella, get back in there and hit a couple of threes for me, and here he comes.
Greg Hire and Angus Brandt head for the bench along with Koenigs-Drew. Mass changes from Trevor Gleeson. Got it back to 8, Sydney. Early stages of this second quarter. Garlett. It span around the lip and then lipped away. Wagstaff for Redditch now. He leaves it behind. Newley looks up with only Damien Martin in front of him. Martin fouls. And the bucket will count. The continuation allowed, and doesn't Andrew Gaze like that?
And that's the right call. That was like an NBA continuation with those big steps from Brad Newley. Right there. Maybe hadn't picked the ball up, but I think that's something that the ref really needs to be able to just give him a little bit more time to finish that play. Right call happened.
Shane, we've seen William McDowell. He was on the bench last game against New Zealand, but didn't see any court time. William.
Well, I think Darryl and his family came down for that game and didn't get any court time, so they decided to stay. They got a hotel room right next to Will's, and they've decided to camp out for the last couple of weeks. And I guess they'd be glad that they did after he hit that three-point shot with his first ever shot in the NBL.
Andrew Gaze picking up the room service, no doubt.
No doubt.
Bryce Cotton. Can he keep it going? For the time being, he goes back to the other fresh face this evening. Great to see Damien Martin back. Surely he's through his run of injuries now. Damien Martin. No joy for Perth. Last season it was calf and broken jaw. This year the knee is Lish. Drives all the way to the hole. He makes sure of it.
That is an exceptional hesitation move. Matt Knight thought the Lish was going to pull up from three, and why wouldn't you? He's so good at it. Hesitated and got himself a little cheapy.
Up to 8 points for the night. 3 of 7 shooting. Cotton ends up with Jameel McKay, who's travelled. Chris Reed spotted it straight away. And Sydney now on an 8-point tear. Cause for concern for Trevor Gleeson. Proud owner of a wonderful coaching record, 173 wins, 131 losses.
Little zone defense now from the Perth Wildcats, just to try and mix up momentum a little bit.
Newley ducking and weaving, always good on the move.
And it came off an on-ball screen against that 2-3 zone as well. Just a little screen against Cotton, and that's all he needs is a little bit of space off the dribble. Brad Newley, just so exceptional with his change of pace and his ability to be able to finish with both hands around the rim.
Just a clarification coming from the scorer's bench, but Brad Newley at 17.6 points per game is only just behind Kevin Lish, 17.8. He's got Kev covered in rebounds and assists. Newley, Sydney's leading assist provider. It's been some return to the NBL, hasn't it?
Oh, he's been incredible and he's played with such a consistency all the way across the board. He's got 2 out of the team's 4 assists already tonight, and he's playing as a 3-man.
Started in 2005 at Townsville before heading to Europe. Here's Bryce Cotton. There's his first miss for the night. Marich hands it back for Newley. His pass only just gets to Whittington. Chance for Perth. Lish. Now Tommy Garlop, who's left with a good look. And Marich is there for the putback. The Sydney Kings on a run.
Great read from Marich. And again, they've hit the front for the first time with that 12-point run. The Wildcats need time.
McKay sends Perth back to the front. It was Matty Knight, the provider. McKay, the finisher. Midway through the second. Now Lish into the key. He looked to go outside off McKay. If you joined us late, the second biggest crowd of the season at Kudos Bank Arena. Nearly 8,000 willing Andrew Gaze and his men on. Great noise, great atmosphere, fantastic scenes. Newley finds the iron. Knight outside. And the shot was wayward from Kenny. Newley again. A couple of misses. He won't miss from there. Instead, he goes outside for Garlop. A step back. Also hits the rim. Little dry patch here for the Kings after that 12-point run.
Just really labouring on the offensive end at stages. The Sydney Kings, I'd love to see them get into some early on-ball screens for both Kadee and Lish. Try and attack this Perth defence, spread them out, drive and dish. We've seen that they can go to the basket and score just as well. And I think now the Perth Wildcats can make that same sort of adjustment. They haven't had anybody that can use a pick and roll all year. Now the opportunity to be able to throw that ball to Cotton and see whether he can make some plays for the 3-point shooters as well.
Cotton to Matty Knight. Knight gets the job done. Only 4 points in his last game against the Illawarra. Marich was looking for Newley. Now Whittington. Draper comes down with it. 4 or 5 offensive runs now failing for Sydney.
Great defense from the Sydney Kings. That's not an easy task when you have Casey Prather in transition running at you. Look here, this is when he's at his best. Good defense. Great hands over the top from Marich to be able to block that ball that came off Prather.
Hammer, a few moments ago we were talking about Brad Newley and what a wonderful return to Australia he has made. Is a Kings high and included a career equaling 7 of 10 threes for some of the numbers that we've been applauding Brad Newley for this year.
Well, the Kings only shooting 35% from the field, and they only find themselves down 3 points. The Wildcats, on the other hand, 50% from the field, so they would think themselves a little bit lucky right now, the Sydney Kings, and if they get things going, they could hit the front before half-time.
Cadee and Whittington. Now it's Garrett Jackson. Newley for Cadee. The shot clock at 5. Alex Marich, a little too soft. The floater didn't go far enough. Cotton skids as he plants a foot. Matty Knights draws the foul and will shoot the 2.
That was a really good play from the Perth Wildcats. They were really trying to post the mismatch. And we probably see on this replay here, have a look at the flash from McKay. He was the one that dragged that weak side help up so he could go a high-low. Well drilled from the Perth Wildcats. Wow, he just jabbed at that one, Matt Knight. No confidence on his follow-through from the free throw line.
His returns against Sydney this season, 6 points and 8 rebounds in game 1. 10 points, 3 rebounds, game 2. The owner of 18 double-doubles with the Wildcats. He has 40 during his career.
And this is a lineup for the Sydney Kings that I think they're going to struggle with for the rest of the season. They're having to play Newley as a 2, Whittington as a 3. They've got Jackson as a 4. They're really top-heavy. The same thing that I was critical of the Perth Wildcats when they went really big with their imports. That's why I thought the Kings needed to come with a 3rd import as another guard to be able to get better rotations.
Now Cadee, while Lish rests. Knight down with another rebound. When Lish and Cadee are out there, it's A-OK, but you can't play them 40 minutes every game, every time they go around. Prather spinning on Garrett Jackson, maybe leaving himself a little giddy. Off with the shot, Cadee to Newley. Newley, what a move! The assist from Cadee, and Newley had plenty to do.
Great transition from the Kings. Getting Newley early touches in transition equates to points.
Newley up to 8. A Sydney Kings high alongside Kevin Lish. And Bryce Cotton just keeps hurting them.
Brad Newley had a hand right in his grill, and he was still good enough just to fade back a little bit more and put it in.
He's only missed 1 shot for the night. He's gone to a game-high 14. Quite the arrival, Bryce Cotton. And another travel called on McKay.
Lish coming back into the lineup now. Now they go back to their more balanced lineup. Everyone back into their normal positions to be able to finish this last 1 minute 14. But have a look at this shot. Brad Newley, really good defense. He contested late and high as much as he could without fouling, but Cotton would have played against that many great athletes in college, in the D-League, in the NBA, and he's still able to be able to lean back and just go whack.
I know we have the extra import position this year. Each team allowed 3, but Cotton's the 23rd for the season. That's an NBL record, and there he is, doing it again. 16 and counting.
And you've got to love it because he shoots the 3 so well. You have to respect that. A change of pace as if he was going to shoot it. He exploded past Lish and got an easy one.
Cadee gets away from Kenny. And Jason Cadee, nice move.
Both teams closing out hard now, providing driving opportunities for the guards. Good finish from Cadee.
30 seconds left before the half, 38-34. A good game in Sydney as round 14 continues. Matt Knight. Couldn't do it from a bit of distance. And the Kings will try and control the final possession of the half. hoping to get within 1 or 2 of the Wildcats. Lish is well short. And he gives them a little sneaky chance through Casey Prather, who tried to bank it. It's away. The difference at the big break is 4. Perth 38, Sydney 34. The half has been owned by Jameel McKay, and here's... You might have heard Jazz, Phoenix, Memphis. His best NBA game, 21 points, 3 assists. Against Dallas, April 2015. It was off the bench in front of him as starters Dante Exum and Joe Ingles, who told us today, you're getting quite the player. Casey Prather. No score. Now the quick transition. Kadee, nice pass for Newley. Back to Kadee, who draws the foul and will shoot the 2.
And I love that from the Sydney Kings. Marriage really had his eyes up the floor. Really good kick ahead. Jason Kadee and Brad Newley played a little tandem offense, and he'll get himself to the line. That's 3 fouls for Casey Prather as well. I'm not sure that Trevor Gleeson knows that, as you think that he'd be ready to be able to sub him out anytime shortly.
They need Casey Prather out there, their leading scorer. He had 19 points last start. His returns against Sydney, 13 and 28. Here he is, sitting on 3 fouls. Getting to be on his best behaviour. Just 2 points tonight for Casey Prather. McKay, if he keeps scoring, they won't need Casey. McKay up to 11. He and Cotton, the 2 in double digits. Perth by 5. Newley away from Knight, back for Whittington. His floater catches the iron, and that pulls it through.
Really good pull through from Whittington. Saw that he had Matty Knight on him from the perimeter. Pulled through, good touch.
Lish with the steal. Finish. Reverse layup. He was under some pressure. Plenty of red singlets around him. Damien Martin with a great record against Sydney. He's won 19 of his last 20 against the Kings, including 15 in a row at one stage.
Look at that transition before from Kevin Lish. Had 3 players against him, but it was McKay that came in that caught the eye of Lish. And it's not just the shots that he blocked, it's the shots that he intimidates the offense and makes them change their shots.
Lish, as Martin slips, it gives Lish a great look, and you cannot give him that.
He was 3 from 9 from the field before that shot. Again, we spoke about the fact he's coming off a 1 from 14 appearance. So for him to get going and get the Sydney Kings going is going to be critical if the Kings are going to change their form at home.
So he has double figures for the 20th time in 21 outings this season. And now travel called on Cotton. You can travel like that in the NBA, he says.
Well, and it will be an adjustment because you can travel like that in the NBA and to the D-League and potentially in college as well. But when you're under the FIBA rules, they are a whole lot more pedantic on the travelling calls.
Sydney have led in this game so far for 16 seconds. Are we about to start the clock again? Yes! Marriage!
And I love that from the Sydney Kings. They came down, they ran a middle pick and roll with Kevin Lish. He went back and forward, put the defense in a predicament of how they were going to defend it. The big fella rolled down the middle, good pass. You have a look at this. Little pocket pass from Lish. They were slow on the rotations and won.
Heavy at the foul line. He's sitting on 4 points for the game. The truck. Another of the Europeans to return to Australia. Knight for McKay. And he draws the foul. A nice pass from Knight.
really good offense from the Perth Wildcats too, because they double-teamed Knight in the post. Lish was caught in between two minds. He didn't know whether to help out on the split line because he was guarding Bryce Cotton, who would have been open for three. Well-executed play by the Perth Wildcats. But I'll be interested to see whether the Sydney Kings come back down and get a quick offensive set with an on-ball again for Kevin Lish, how they scored the last set.
We'll find out here. Lish double teamed. Kadeem back for the man you speak of. And the turnover from Lish. Martin for McKay, who stacks one. 15 for the game. Jameel McKay.
There is no one better in the league than Damian Martin of anticipating and getting a hand on the basketball, creating deflections and problems for opposition guards.
Lish spins away from Knight. Misses the reverse and appeals for some love from the officials. Not Prather. Good D at both ends. Look at Newley on the charge towards Knights. The right sort of finish from Brad Newley.
A couple of turnovers from the Perth Wildcats. Bad decision from Prather in transition. Opens up opportunities for Newley, and Knight had no chance.
Knight. Newley on the charge. He's like a full forward toward an open goal. He's like your front rower from the NRL kickoff. Hard and fast and straight.
Well, he's virtually impossible to stop just because he's equally as good finishing with his left and right hand. Just an unbelievable athleticism and great poise.
We shouldn't be surprised by the close margin. 3 the difference. The average winning margin here this season, 8.5. These teams, the only 2 in the league not to be beaten by more than 15. Knight, another strong rebounds. Prather kicks it out for Martin, and they'll set it up with 15 on the shot clock. Bryce Cotton jumping in and out, spinning around in front of Whittington, and he goes to the bigger body of Knight, but Marriage does a sound job. Again, Newley driving into the paint. The follow-up from Marriage is good, and the big boys are getting it done.
Yeah, really good follow-up from Marriage. To the good defense in transition by the Perth Wildcats. Prather 1 for 8, only 2 points.
Jameel McKay, 1 bounce, Knight with the putback.
He's been really active on the offensive end. Really good follow and read by Knight. Getting a little tip.
McKay's season high of 18 in Brisbane on debut under real pressure. He's on 15. Plenty of time for him to blow past that as Whittington misses. Nice ball handling behind the back, despite the presence of Lish. Casey Prather, just when you start to question him, shows us some class.
Oh, you can tell he's a little frustrated though. He has got a foul after he scored. Straight through Jason Kadee. I think it's the right call though.
And that takes him to 4, despite the frustrations of Trevor Gleeson. 4 fouls for Casey Prather.
That is a huge call to have his 4th at this stage of the game. He can't play for the rest of the 3rd.
We'll find out when his last foul out was.
Turnover from Will White. And that's just the fact that he's only been here for a little bit of time. Tommy Garlick read that he was denied. The natural counter is for him to go backdoor. He was probably open. It just takes a little bit of time to understand the wrinkles within the shuffle offense for the young fella.
Angus Brandt for Bryce Cotton, who cuts superbly. Brandt spotted it well. Perfect execution from the Wildcats.
A really good cut, but there needs to be help from the Sydney Kings. When there's a flex cut and a screen set, the big man has to jump off and bump and help the guard. You can't just give up a wide open layup in the half-court set.
Perth by 7. What a move. What about that from an 18-year-old? William McDowell-White.
Great pass fake. Got himself towards the basket. There was help there, but it was the pass fake that created the open lane.
Now Knight front of the rim, and it trickles in. Now their leading scorer is down. Casey Craig the 4 points, but a good team finds providers, and Cotton, McKay, and now Knight, double figures.
Well, the good thing for the Wildcats is they've got an abundance of talent in that position, and that's where they were so heavy. As White gets open for another 3.
Perth ball.
Ross Cotton not happy about something. Catch that on the replay. He just got introduced to Tommy Gallup. That's a good screen. And I tell you, if you react like that from screens, big guys sense it, they smell it, and they will come after you and give you every opportunity they possibly can.
You've won a few, haven't you? Wagstaff. Now higher fight for the rebound, and almost did enough. McDowell White back up the court. Whittington. And there's the foul. Whittington with something for the crowd and nothing more.
And there was just no gap for Whittington to be able to drive that last time. Here's the little screen. He was probably moving a little bit, Tommy Gallup, based on what the referees have called so far this year.
Last night, Nate Jarwai.
Probably an offensive foul. I saw that game with Jawai. He moved a whole lot less than what Tommy Gallup did then.
Wagstaff kicking it out. Kenny. Interior for Brant. Powers guarding him. 3 seconds in the key. Was it higher or someone else?
Take your pick. But Brant did the good physical moves to be able to create space for himself, but just really needed to be able to spin and finish on his left or right. He had the opportunity to be able to do it. He did all the hard work.
Prather on 4 fouls, hasn't fouled out of a game since week 10 against Melbourne, and no one really cared because he'd already delivered 39 points on United. His career and season highs. Whittington at the other end.
Good find from the Kings. It was a mismatch with Kenny on the 6'9" Whittington. As Josh Powell says, I'm not going to go around you, Greg Hire. I'm just going to run straight through you.
Feeling in the third quarter, players at both ends hitting the deck. No nonsense look on a big American.
That's the 4th team foul for the Sydney Kings. More, and they'll put the Wildcats to the line. This is where they need to make an adjustment. You understand as a team, when you're in the bonus, you can't play the same way.
Bryce Cotton, the Wagstaff, now Kenny, Jared Kenny gave it a really good look. We thought it was through, and someone hit the eject button. But Josh Powell, back to his foul a moment ago, straight into Greg High. Maybe he's a little frustrated, sitting on 0 points. Only the 2 shots tonight. Has come up with 4 rebounds and 2 assists, but way down on his average 10 points per game.
Yeah, he's had no impact tonight, Josh Powell, and with the experience and the leagues that he's played in, he needs to find a way to be able to inject himself now with good post moves and offensive rebounds to be able to give this Kings lineup an injection.
Newley, 5 seconds on the clock. Kicks it out for McDowell. White to take 3 more. He looks assured. Is he 18 or 28? William McDowell-White, welcome to the NBL.
He's second 3. Big effort. Good drive and dish again from Brad Newley. Saw the open White. McDowell-White knew what to do with it. Feet were set. He's always had the ability. Now he's getting his opportunity.
The advice from Dad Darrell looks better with each shot. Follow basketball, my boy. Give AFL the brush. Bryce Cotton. Arc round the corner pass for Brand, who's guarded by Marriage, but unsuccessfully. And he'll go to the line for one. Angus Brandt. Let's take this opportunity to go to Abby.
Gentlemen, there's been a bit of heat coming this way. I'm just behind the Wildcats bench, and Greg Whittington keeps looking over here with some serious daggers, particularly after his last points. He had some choice words for the Wildcat bench, so they're getting under their skin, and you can see that even with Josh Powell. They're just not happy out there. So whatever the Wildcats are doing to intimidate them, it's definitely working.
He mustn't have slept real well last night, Greg Whittington. From the outset tonight, he was shooting daggers. Normally, any excuse to crack a smile and have some fun. Wrong side of the bed, Hammer.
But it's a long year, and that's what happens when you've only won 1 out of your last 5 at home. Cracks start to appear, and that's where the culture takes over and the togetherness, and you have to find a way to stay with the process to get through it. And at the moment, they're breaking down a little bit, but they're new. They've only been together for a short period of time, and great opportunity for Andrew Gaze to be able to stamp his leadership from all the success of his playing days and what he's learned from his old man as well on this Sydney Kings unit.
Well, speaking of his old man, the great Lindsay Gaze, Andrew needs one more win to go past what Dad did in his first year as a head coach, 1984. You reckon that'll be mentioned at the dinner table?
I reckon if I can jump on and defend Lindsay a little bit here, if you have a look at the talent, the budget Lindsay might have had, he's got a little bit of an argument to say, hold on, mate, you're kidding, aren't you?
Andrew won't have any of that. And it gives us a chance to mention Heritage Round again coming your way next weekend. I reckon we go back to the Sandpit in Wollongong. We'll get Billy Mildenhall back to referee a quarter. We'll get Gorge back to give a timeout address as Kenny takes aim for 3. What else would you like to see back from the past?
Wow.
Apart from,
what about my bogan locks?
Yeah, we saw some of them last night in Cairns. Wonderful hairstyles.
Well, we'll get a ball game. Just 6 seconds to go. The Kings go to the line, only 3 down. And you've just got that feeling that Perth should be up more. They're shooting the ball at 49%, only 3 for 13 from the 3-point line. Bryce Cotton's got 3 out of 4, so the rest of the team zip from 10.
Marriage misses both. It remains a 3-point game, but Sydney get it back. They've lifted their shooting percentage from just above 30 in the first half to just above 40 as we sit.
I'll correct that. Zip from 9 for the rest of the team.
Lesh was running out of time. And again, a bit of luck for the home team. Nearly 8,000 fans will do that for you. And Lesh.
Now, that was the right call. That time, Wagstaff went straight up and down, and Lish really jumped.
Double figures. He's 4 of 13, 31%. Kevin Lish. And that's the end of the third. Long throw with some optimism. But one thing that is for sure, we've got a great final quarter coming your way right after this. All around. There's the new man, Bryce Cotton. The Lions already dancing. But most of the crowd holding their moves, realising there's a big quarter right here. The Kings can hold second with victory. Perth want a win to go up to 5th, which would set up further climbing on Monday against Brisbane. Kevin Lish. Another tough shooting night now, 4 of 14. Mark for Wagstaff. Kernich drew higher. Wagstaff into the paint outside. On the move impressively.
That is a great finish. Known as a 3-point shooter, he gave up a couple to be able to get the up fake. Great finish at the rack.
Dexter Kernich Drew, the 25-year-old. He's off a 13-point game. 5 rebounds, assist against Illawarra. Grant. Strong rebounds. Perth looking to build on a 5-point lead. Wagstaff. Back of the rim. And the foul called on Greg High.
Well, they've got to find some solutions, the Sydney Kings. Down to only 38% from the field. Got a couple of good looks. That 3 from Lish to start the quarter was a good look. Just hasn't been able to knock it down right now. Spoke about the fact that some of these guys look a little mentally and physically tired at the moment. Need to get some enthusiasm in their game right now.
Well, William McDowell-White has some enthusiasm. The 5th 18-year-old to debut for Sydney. And there are some points for the home team.
Again, it came off a pick and roll for Brad Newley. Little step up. He's just so explosive with getting himself to the basket against those bigs. He's really struggled again tonight, not just from the scoring, but he's got 7 points, 3 from 8 from the field, but it's the fact that he's only got 1 rebound, 0 assists and 5 turnovers. And that's where he was so good in the first half of the season. He was second in rebounding, he was top 5 in steals, you know, good decision making on his assists as well, and just noticed a really big difference the last month.
He struggles against Perth. They're the only team he's yet to score double figures against. Martin out of play just before the shot clock expired anyway. They were under pressure. Yeah, Greg Whittington, his season averages a sound more than 11 points per game. He's their leading rebounder with 7 per game. So they have just 1 board tonight. Continues his tough time against the men from the West. Fish with Cotton. Straight on him.
It's the right idea. Good back cut from Lish. Just couldn't get that ball to Newley, who was cutting to the basket. And again, I think over time, when Cotton starts to establish himself in this team, they're going to get more of this. This is a horn set, get some on-ball screens and allow him to use his athleticism in decision-making.
Bryce Cotton driving hard and drawing the foul. He'll shoot the 2. Perfect tonight from the foul line. 3 of 3.
And that's exactly what the Perth Wildcats have missed for the entire season. Somebody that can make a play when the defense is set and he flattened them down. You have a look at that. He faked the step back, used his hesitation, got to the basket, gets himself a couple of cheapies.
Well, only 6 Wildcats have scored 20 points in their NBL debut. This free throw for Bryce Cotton to join them, and we'll take you through that list shortly. But it's an elite 6, about to be 7. Bryce Cotton, 20 on debut for the Cats.
Well, it's the way he's done it too. He's done it off only 7 shots. 6 from 7 from the field. Hasn't missed from the free throw line.
The announcer acknowledging Sydney's second biggest crowd of the season, 7,702. Now they've got to get the win. Whittington. The foul will be called on Higher, who was tangled with Newley. He goes to 3 personals. Casey Fraser on 4. For Sydney, it's Marriage and Powell, along with Kadeen nursing 3. Seven to play with Perth in front by 5. And an offensive foul called on Marriage. That's his 4th.
And that's the right call. Marriage does not need to be able to move his feet and put his butt out here. You have a look, he's got perfect position, but he just keeps moving. He's done a good job because he's such a big body. He just needs to keep a wide stance. The defense has to avoid it, and it would have given the advantage for Jason Kadeen to make a play.
gets his own ball back as we look at the players in foul trouble. Still there's a scramble and Perth win that one as well. One eye on the clock. 5 seconds to shoot. Kicks it out. Kenny, who's good enough, acknowledges the work from Cotton. And tonight, Perth are finding provider after provider.
And that's what I'm talking about with Cotton. You know, really good isolation play. Couldn't get his shot up. Do that. They've done it forever. But it was just the most imbalanced team in the NBL, and they just kept. It was like they were being stubborn with how long they took to make this change. And you see the results immediately, and it was a perfect fit.
Tomorrow we'll see Kevin Dillard become the 24th import for the season when he makes his debut for the Breakers. Kadee on the charge. The finish was lacking, and it's a Perth ball. Let's take this opportunity to go back to Abby Gelmy. Abby?
Thanks so much, Matty. I was listening in then to the Wildcats huddle, and I've got to say, they were celebrating like they'd already won the game. There were high fives, they were cheering, and the last message from Trevor Gleeson was, we need to get the rebounds if we're going to carry this one off, so expect them to go hard on the rebound.
They want to dominate the boards. They are narrowly ahead in that department as Whittington threads his way up court. Left and right hands. And the foul is committed on Kevin Lish.
That's where Newley really needs to get that ball kicked up a little bit earlier. Pass over the top from Whittington. It was only the hard work of Lish that he put his body on the line to be able to get in between the ball and higher to draw that foul and save them.
So it's High's 4th personal foul alongside Draper now. Whittington. Nice floater for a man who's had a quiet night. Working his way to 7 points. 9, in fact, they credit him now. McKay. This is the shot travelling again. I think it's his 3rd travelling call tonight, Jameel McKay.
And as a player, you get to know your bigs of whether they can actually catch it on the move or whether they need to be a little bit more stationary. And McKay's certainly one of those guys that needs to be able to get his feet set before he catches the ball.
Lish, they'd like him to catch fire. Four of 15 now for Captain Kev, the 2-time league MVP. Prather. The disenchanted look, he hands it to Kenny, and this might change the expression. McKay, you can't travel when you're airborne.
Really good read from Kenny. Good take to the basket. And McKay with that length and athleticism. Too easy.
Dangerous little spurt here for Sydney because Perth are ahead by 8. Back to 6. 4.5 to play.
That's his first score for the game, Matty.
They're under this sort of pressure against the Breakers last game around. The Kings. There was an answer that night. He's there this evening. Prather with the left hands.
He's got one of the best Euro steps in the entire NBL. You see him going with his left hand there, and he used his right foot back off his left and finished with the same hand, the same foot.
It looked like he was in pain as he head back to a defensive role. Newly blocked by McKay. The only pain was in his ears. He wanted to hear the referee's whistle. Casey Prather. Nice dish. And McKay, what a hot little touch. Flying, scoring, stopping, and scoring again. 19 for the night. That's a new career high in the NBL. Jameel McKay.
And now they'll be trying to implement their systems and get themselves right to make this run to the playoffs. And I think most people would be looking at some adjustments about who's going to make the top 4. Now they've had a chance to be able to see this change has been made. Bryce Cotton's into the lineup.
A foul called on Kenny.
Let's keep an eye on the margin here as well. It's going to be really important. I know that the Kings play the Wildcats late. It might even be the last game of the season. And the Kings it's one each at the moment with +2 for the Kings. This all counts.
It is the final game of the season for Sydney, round 19, away to Perth. Perth lead the series, but barely. It's 1-1. They're ahead by 2 points.
So it's Wildcats +2. Makes it even more important for the Sydney Kings. Right now they're -12. But even more important than that, if the Wildcats can hang on here, it'll be 2-1 in the win column. And they'll just need to take care of that last game at home. And who knows, there may even be more than 2 teams tied on the same win-loss record. It gets even more complex then when you start to bring a third team into the plus-minus.
You'll need your calculator over the last few rounds. Trevor Gleeson needs a Bex and a good lie down. Receiving no love from Matt Townsend. Greg Whittington. Kadee keeps it in play for Newley. They need this badly. Off the iron and away. Still it's there. They get it back through Whittington. Lish thought about 3. Goes to the paint. Outside Newley. Still no joy for Sydney. And Jameel McKay. He owns everything right now.
The Sydney Kings got some great looks at 3. They had their best shooters shooting them 6 from 24 from the 3-point line tonight. They had their opportunities. Great Newley, great follow through on that one, but really good rebounding again from McKay, who's been instrumental in tonight's game.
Round 14 provides Perth's only road double of the season. Sydney tonight, Brisbane on Monday. It looked like a big assignment given they've only had 2 road wins this season, but if they can hang on here and go to Brisbane and bank a couple of road victories in round 14, wow, won't their world look a whole lot better?
It's a day in between, Matty. Got heaps of time, 48 hours in between. So much time to recover, and again, they're not road doubles like they used to be when you're playing back-to-back, or you're going Perth to Adelaide and arriving at the stadium at 5 o'clock and then having to play again in 48-minute games. So, you know, these road trips, you know, should be a breeze for these teams with how fit they are and the depth of teams.
You love the flights to and from Perth, don't you?
Love them.
Never miss one.
No, never.
The chuckle says it all. Got to get a new app that tells you when you've got to be at the airport, Hammer. Here's Casey Prather. Spinning away, but not successfully. Whittington dunks it. One eye on the rim, one eye on Prather. Can that spark Sydney? The flamethrowers are going off in the background. They need some more fire from Greg Whittington.
And I like the timeout from Trevor Gleeson as well. They've got an 8-point lead. But as you said, the crowd has... They will let the Perth Wildcats off if they send them to the line.
They're trying to whip this crowd into a frenzy. And a couple of stops by Sydney will certainly aid in that. There's one, but it's a foul in the process. Newley, the offender.
And the Kings 0 from 8 from the 3-point line in the 4th quarter. 4 from 16 in total for the game.
Kings in the bonus. The Wildcats with 14 fouls.
Hey, if you want to flash, it's okay. Same on.
Time to go to work, Sydney.
Prather, 6 points for the night.
Can you get another out loud? Can we get it, Sydney?
3 of 10 shooting. And this is his first free throw. And the crowd lets him know. And that one's better. 71-62. 2 minutes left. Whittington driving hard. The right hand dunk. More of that, please, say Sydney. They had Fraser under pressure, double team as requested by the coach. Newley and Lish almost come up with the results. Cotton leads all scorers. Trying to build on his 20. He goes to 22.
That is a great play against one of the league's best defenders in Kevin Lish, but just so much poise and that herky-jerky game, crossover, and the ability to be able to finish at the basket. Have a look here. He's looking at any opportunity that he can pull up for that shot. Read it well.
And he's just blown past Marvell Harris. Most points on NBL debut this year. Josh Powell, quiet night, but he goes to 4. 7 points in favour of Perth. And there's Powell with the block, but it was on the way down. Goaltending. Martin comes up with his first points for the night.
He just needed to get off big man a little bit. Josh Powell come over towards the ball. He may have got it on the upward.
Kadee needs the threes to go. There's one. A double team. Cotton is too good. Fraser trying to sell the foul second time around, and it's called on Newley.
They had the Perth Wildcats down to 17 seconds. Just needed one more to be able to create that turnover with Prather in the backcourt. Not necessarily his game to have to bring it up. Now he's back at the line where he made 1 of 2. He split it before.
Misses the first again. Teams have 8 seconds to advance the ball into the opposition half. And they were right there, Sydney, about to force the violation. Instead, there was the foul from Newley. Better second time around again, Casey Prather. Good to see a couple of Wildcats fans in the house, and they'll applaud that from Sydney. Newley's pass too high for Kadee.
The clock's running here. They're going to need to stop it and put some critical seconds back on the game clock.
Referees checking the clock.
Well, the Sydney Kings have only won 1 out of their last 5 home games, not including this one if they lose this game. So some worrying signs as you see Andrew Gaze with his head in his hands, and you know, this is a time where they really need to be able to stay together. You know, there's enough time left in the season to be able to regather this, but certainly there would be some frustrations right now.
Well, if they lose this, they'll be 6-6 at home, 11-11 for the season, 50% all round. And we spoke pre-game as Matt Nielsen looks on. He's the youngest Sydney debutant now, co-coaching or assistant coaching at Perth. We've seen William McDowell-White make his debut at 18. Well, that man, Matty Nielsen, in 1994, made his first appearance, 17. 3 months and 6 days. But right now, Sydney need stops. They get one. And it's possession still with Perth.
They nearly had it too. Kevin Lish with that deflection.
Martin finds Casey Prather. They find a bit of breathing space. The foul will have to come. And it's an offensive foul from Casey Prather, who looks in dismay at Trevor Gleeson, who returns the favour. He's out of the game with 5 fouls. And it will be a long, long walk from one side of the court to the other.
It's a whole lot easier when you're leaving with a 7-point lead, though. And I'm sure whether Brad Newley took a dive on that one, but regardless, the Sydney Kings have got the ball.
50 seconds to play. Newley needs this. The putback from Lish. Still it's there, Kadee, and Sydney hold the ball. Kadee knew.
They have had some great looks, the Sydney Kings. 7 from 27 from the 3-point line.
Newley, Lish, Whittington, Cadee, you'd expect them to feed better than they have from range. And maybe, just maybe, pull off a comeback here. Down by 7.
Well, what about this, Matty? Between Whittington, Bewley and Lish, they are 3 from 20 from the three-point line.
Wow. Here's the man who won the three-point competition pre-season. About time, Jason Cadee. Matty Knight, they look to move the ball, eat up the clock. Sydney will have to foul, and quickly.
They needed to foul McKay. It's too late now.
Here's Cotton, and they foul their best shooter tonight. Well,
Wow. What?
Sydney messed that up.
Well, once they get it out of the guard's hands and it goes to McKay and Knight, you need to foul those guys immediately to put them to the line. They're the low percentage free throw shooters of the team.
Bryce Cotton was holding that ball and running for as long as he could.
This fella does not look like missing.
And he's 6 of 6 from the foul line. You can put it down 7 of 7 straight away if his game tonight is any indication. Look at that.
Well, and it's the extra 5 or 6 seconds that they lost as well.
He's 7 of 8 from the field, including 3 from long range. Right here, there's a foul on Brad Newley.
No, I think there's a problem with the clock. I think they're going to take it back, and it's going to be another in-line ball for the Sydney Kings. But Jason Cadee's their man. He's 3 from 4 from the three-point line, so they need to get some sort of quick hit for him.
Once again, we welcome the players from West Ryan Bulls.
It's really just been Cadee and the young fella, Will McDowell-White. They're 5 from 7 from the three-point line between them. Been pretty bare from the land of plenty for the rest of the team.
This month at Sydney Olympic Park Sports.
So as the officials review the clock, it gives Andrew Gaze the chance to address the troops. They can't leave the court. They can go and listen to the head coach.
Is still open for registrations. Please register at sydneykings.com.
Rules prohibit us from listening into Andrew Gaze in the final 2 minutes. 6 the difference.
And this is where I'd love to see the NBL introduce more timeouts. Even if they're only 20-second timeouts, give coaches an opportunity to be able to advance the ball, quick hit three-point plays, and really keep them into the game.
What about letting us listen in? They're fantastic with their access. But are we really worried about spies with iPads and other devices? Really?
No, I think it's fair enough. Last 2 minutes, I think the coaches are great with how much access they give us in the media. Those last 2 minutes, I think that's fair.
I'm with you in the access they give us is absolutely fantastic. Absolutely fantastic. But the time where viewers really want to listen to them is the final 2 minutes.
And so do the opposition teams and everything else, and the way they scout. And there's mobile phones and everything else that goes on.
It's not Russia.
I think it's, but I think if you're an opposition coach and someone's at home, your scout is at home, calling and telling you what's going on, that's really easy to do. Why, and
Okay.
if you're allowed to do that, why wouldn't you?
You've coached, you'd know best.
I just
I'll
think
take your greater judgment.
I just think that the 2 minutes is fair enough for the clubs and the teams to be able to give them that space, and we get the rest of the time.
To listen to us hammer.
Sure, there would be a lot of people who would rather be listening to the coaches, and so would I. I would love to be able to hear what they're saying as well and see what they draw up, and I certainly respect those guidelines. I'm just not sure whether there's any timeouts left for the Sydney Kings. They mustn't have any, because otherwise you would be bringing this forward and trying to save time and get something very quick.
Cadee passes for Newley. Time their enemy. Whittington pulls the trigger on a bomb. And it catches the iron. There's a foul in Sydney's favour. An arm pull spotted by the referees. It was Chris Reed. Kay was the man pinged. So, the NBA veteran, with just 2 points tonight, only the 3 shots, makes the first. Needs the second, and then we've got 10 seconds.
Time out on the floor. Check your score. Wildcats 78.
If Perth win this game as both teams head for a breather, a huddle, if Perth win this and beat Brisbane, they'll wake up and prepare for round. Perth fans are wrapped in Cotton's pull. What will he give us in the back end of this season?
This is one of the ancient Sydney.
See, that's where the Sydney Kings have to be there on that Jared Kenny catch. They need to be able to foul him because he's not a good free throw shooter. They allow one more pass out, and now they're putting Bryce Cotton to the line, and he's 7 from 7 tonight. Sometimes it's those little things in the game of basketball that are game plays that you just have to be able to execute, even without being told from the coach. Just as a player, you have to understand that because you've played the game all your life.
This for the record, the highest scoring Wildcat on debut is Bryce Cotton. The 200th Wildcat debut. Kadee. Wayward with his 3. Trevor Gleeson punches the air, top of screen. Another fantastic road victory for a team who has found it tough to win on the road. It's